we continue to grow production. And if we thought 2025 was interesting, well, here we come with 2026. So not in very recent history, we've had two massive global geopolitical events: Venezuela, where we blow in and overturn an oppressive authoritarian regime. I don't know. Most people in America think that they should have been around. Whether that was good or bad, it happened.
It happened.
And I think there's something to be said for liberating 300 billion barrels of oil to be put to use ultimately by the global economy. But I certainly do know some producers, and some smaller producers in particular, who aren't, at least at the moment, interested in another barrel coming onto the marketplace. It might push prices down. You and I haven't really talked about this, but how does the company look at those kinds of events?
Right. Yeah. The recent geopolitical issues have certainly sent shockwaves through the world and through the markets. It's, Trump is, I support a lot of his policies. And as you know, with his, I think in general, his tariff policy is started to rebalance some long-lived issues of trade imbalances. But for us, it is pretty hard on us with steel tariffs and service prices going up. But back to the geopolitics. Yes, there is theoretically, and there is a lot of oil in Venezuela. But when people see it on the news, they think, "Oh, here it comes." But we're a long way off from having some real meaningful production to affect the global balance. But it is coming if all things continue to go the way Trump has intended it to go. That's not to say 5 years down the road, maybe with a new president, things or a new regime in Venezuela, it's the line of sight of predictability in the oil and gas market has drastically shortened. And back in 2014, and that crash made sense. It was a game of chicken between the Saudis and us, more or less. But yeah, it is very hard, and there's a lot of variables going on across the world. But a lot of our refineries were originally built to take the Venezuelan heavy crude, and then we started producing out of the Permian sweet crude, and we turned those around and started exporting, and then LNGs also, which have been a great benefit to, like you said, our neighbors in Europe and across the world. But yeah, things like Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, that is going to continue to have an effect, and it's tough to say how long this is really going to last right now. I mean, it's the cannonball into the pool just happened, so we're not sure how big this splash is going to be. But yeah, if 20% of the LNG from Qatar and 20% of oil and gas, more or less, that comes out of that region is halted every day, there's a shortage. And I have a friend in the oil and gas commodities business, and he was talking a couple months ago about, man, we're really just about $2 million or 2 million barrels a day oversupplied, and if that can be fixed, this depressed oil prices can really repair themselves pretty quickly. Well, we're now about 20 million barrels a day of our 100 million a day demand short. So we'll see how much it causes an effect. But also, if Iran starts to attack facilities over people with their drones, that could cause long-term damage and structural damage to the industry. So we'll see. But before all of that happened, going back to Trump and his policies, as you know, he's really pushed for a decrease in the price of oil, and therefore decreasing the price of gas and diesel, and that comes from a good place in his heart. but it's tax cut effectively for everyday Americans. But there is certainly a trade-off and certainly costs to a large industry that is arguably the backbone or one of the main backbones of the country and of the world. So yeah, it's not been as volatile. It's been pressure